Hello again guys, it's Carly from the Poetry of Nice and I have another sales video for you guys. So if you're new here, I sell on Etsy, eBay and Poshmark. I do it part-time while staying home with my children and I love doing that. I sell primarily clothing at this point, but also some hard goods and also quite a few vintage items, which I really enjoy. So what I do in these sales videos is I just give you a roundup over the last, say, like 1 to 2 weeks of things that have sold on each of those platforms. And I let you know how much I paid for them, where I got them originally, and how much they sold for. Buyer almost always pays shipping for these items. I don't really offer free shipping, but if that is the case, I will make sure to let you know. And also please bear in mind that the numbers I give you, they don't include fees. So on each platform, fees differ slightly, but you can estimate anywhere from 15 to 20% of the sales price plus the shipping and all that is what the platform will take for fees. So I'll give you my cost of goods, what I spent originally. I will tell you how much it sold for on which platform, and then the rest, just bear in mind that there are fees associated also. So here we go. So we're going to start off on Etsy first of all. And this hat here, this is a vintage, like from the 90s Gap crushed velvet hat in this beautiful floral print. Super cool. It's almost like a bucket hat, like very 90s, early 2000s. I paid 50 cents for this at a rummage sale and it sold for $19.95 plus the shipping. This was really cool, I thought anyway, an awesome 70s print. It had a brilliant ruffle collar. This is actually before I was using my mannequin and taking my photographs differently. So this flat lay really does not do this blouse justice. This is something that had I sort of seen it, eventually I probably would have gone ahead and redone these photos, but nevertheless it sold, so that's wonderful. Great ruffle cuffs here, just a really awesome piece. I paid 50 cents at a rummage sale again, and it sold for $19.95 plus shipping. And this was $1 at a rummage sale. This is just a vintage Eddie Bauer, like this cool teal and white plaid, made in Hong Kong. It was just a nice sort of like a flannel, like a knit flannel, a great piece for this season. So this also sold for $19.95 plus the shipping. Vintage LL Bean, this is like a high-waisted purple, like a burgundy, dark purple skirt, very kind of like 90s. I had the keyword here of like grunge and things like that. Just a neat little piece, especially again for the season. And this was about $1 at a rummage sale also, and it sold for $14.95 and it went abroad. So it actually cost quite a lot in shipping. So I do hope that they love that piece. And the final Etsy thing I'm going to show you is this. You know, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, that I love to sell like collegiate football or sporting gear, vintage. I just love it. I find loads of it around where I live, particularly for UT Vols. This just happens to be Auburn versus Alabama, and obviously like a specific game, but a very cool vintage graphic. It did have some issues, unfortunately. It did have some marks and some discolorations and things like that, which I made sure to add some photographs, plenty of photographs, and also to make sure to put some good information there in the listing as well to let the buyer know exactly what they're getting. Paid about $1 at a yard sale for this, and it sold for $34.95 plus shipping, which is pretty standard for what I sell these kinds of vintage college sports sweatshirts for, just to let you know. Okay, and then we're moving on to Posh. Just a overview of some random things. I've got some good sales, some not so good sales. I'll sell things anywhere from like $10 to $200 and up. Just depends what I find and just depends how quickly I can list it. So Poshmark, I had these listed for I think 35 and I took a best offer of 24. They are just Clark's black suede, like lace-up ankle booties. I paid $1 for these at a rummage sale. I do like my rummage sales, you can probably tell. They had a little bit of scuffing on the toe, so I took 24 for them, and yes, that's not a bad sale at all. $1 into 24. This Neiman Marcus, this was 100% cashmere, this fuchsia pink sweater. It did have some pilling, unfortunately. I got some close-up pictures where you can see a bit more of the pilling and stuff. But overall, it was a beautiful piece. I actually only paid 50 cents for this at a rummage sale, which is bonkers. But I took a best offer of 22 for this, simply because of the pilling and whatnot. And I didn't really want to defuzz it too much because it's cashmere and those holes are going to come easy. So A great seasonal piece. This is obviously a vintage Halloween cardigan. It had these great like figural buttons and these whatsits that are dangling. It had everything going on, beading and embellishments. There's a neat black cat. There's pumpkins on the sleeves. I mean, you couldn't get away from it. These buttons all, as well as you can see, all stood out and whatnot. So overall, just a really cool piece. It had loads of interest. Let me see how many. I had about 15 likes on it, fair enough. And I sent out offers and things. It was listed at, I think, 30 to start with. And just, I wasn't getting any bites. I had a couple of lowball offers. So someone came in and offered me 22. And I paid about somewhere between 50 cents to $1 for this at a yard sale. And I went ahead and took it for 22. So not too bad. This is a brand I wasn't familiar with, but it caught my eye in the thrift store. It was Henry and Bell, and the back pocket, like the leather patch and all that kind of stuff, it just looked really nicely done. I don't know. And the style itself, the like skinny style with some light distressing and whatnot, I was just a really big fan of the jean. It looked really well made. So I paid $6.99 for this at a thrift store and took a chance. Turns out it was from, I think, Nordstrom Rack or Nordstrom, one of the two, and someone paid full price of $35 plus shipping for it, so I was pretty happy with that. This I picked up only a couple of weeks ago, sold pretty quickly, just a simple torrid, like very thin knit, sort of almost like a sweater top with a lace detail and a sheer back. You can see a little bit better here. Super hard to photograph in black, I have to say. It was a size 2X, and I paid $1 at the yard sale, and it sold for $18. Again, another $1 rummage sale purchase. I got this, it's Talbot's, and it was an extra large. So I tend to only really get Talbot's extra large and up. Up is better for me. They seem to move really quickly, especially on eBay, when they're sort of 1X, 2X and up. But I like this because I felt like it had a prairie kind of look to it. I don't know what you think with this kind of open knit detail and then some cable knit. I just thought it was a really interesting piece. So I went ahead and grabbed it for $1. It sold within about a month to a month and a half for full asking price of $25. These sold at full asking price as well. The person did not send me an offer. They just paid $35 outright, which was great. And I only paid $1 for the, I paid $2 for these, I'm sorry, at a rummage sale. And they sat for quite a while, I have to say. I've had them for at least 6 months in my store. They did have a little bit of scuffing around the toes and stuff. But anyways, the person purchased them. They already left feedback. They're happy with them. So I'm glad about that. Not too bad, $2 into 35. Okay, a theory piece. I have sold 2 theory pieces in the last week. And those are pretty much the first ones that I have sold. I have quite a bit in my store, and I've always thought of it as a good brand because it's high end in terms of like it's expensive and it's very nicely made, but it's just not moving quickly for me right now. Perhaps it will come into its element fall, winter. I'm not sure. Anyway, so I paid $4 for this at a thrift store. Just a really nice, simple black wool blend cardigan, and I took a best offer of $25 because it had sat for a few months, and I was fairly happy with that. These only cost me 50 cents at a rummage sale. They're Lauren Conrad, not a brand I would actively seek out. However, I thought the style and the color was super cute. You can see like the feather detail, and it was a really nice teal blue color, faux suede. And someone paid 18 for them, so very happy. This was $1 at a rummage sale as well. It's just like a little, it was vintage, but like a pullover V-neck windbreaker with Tennessee. It did have some issues, like some of the lining and whatnot was tearing away. Not an issue on the front, but just inside. And then there was a few small spots. But again, persons received it. They're happy with it. I disclosed it in photos and in the listing description. And like I said, paid $1 and it sold for 30. I love this piece, and this got interest so quickly. I found this for 50 cents at a rummage sale, and I just loved the plaid, like almost like a tartan, and that full button up front. It was super 90s. It was high-waisted, like mini skirt. Really, really a cool piece. My Michelle is still sold in stores. This one made in the USA. It's an older piece. Not a fantastic brand by any means, but the style is really cool, I thought. So 50 cents and 22 is what it sold for. This is actually in my, my day in the life video. If you haven't checked that out yet, I will put the link in the description. It's just a quick summary of what my day looks like as a reseller and a mom all bundled into one. And this is one of the pieces that sold on that very day. So I'll link that below. Go ahead and check it out if you haven't seen it yet. And this I paid $1 for at a rummage sale. I love the color block and how vivid the colors were, and it sold for $50 within just a couple of weeks. And this sold overnight. I paid $1 at a yard sale. It was new with tags, Vince Camuto, this black handkerchief hem skirt. It had the style number right here, so very easy to look up and you know, get the proper keywords, the handkerchief hem and all that. And yes, it sold for $22 overnight, which is absolutely fine for me with a $1 investment. All right, and on to eBay. Last but not least, I picked up this French Connection, like red open front blazer at a yard sale for $3, and it sold for a best offer of $23.99 plus shipping. Another Theory piece. I actually paid 50 cents for this at a rummage sale, which is insane for Theory, like this cashmere like chunky knit sweater. Very cool. Anyway, paid 50 cents, sold for $32.99 plus shipping. Another collegiate piece. I'm telling you, these vintage collegiate sweaters and sweatshirts and stuff, if you see them and they have cool graphics or cool style, grab them. Okay, paid $1 at a rummage sale, sold for $29.99 within about a week and a half. This sold in less than a week as well. Brooks Brothers 100% merino wool. It's a men's full zip vest, and I paid $1 for this, and it sold for $20 on a best offer, which actually I thought this was going to be worth more, I'll be honest, but looking at comps and stuff, $20 was pretty darn fair, so I went ahead and took it. Another Koi scrub top that sold. I bought a whole bunch for $1 a piece at a yard sale not long ago, and I've sold all but one of them, I think, at this point. Ironically, all but the one I thought would sell really quickly. Go figure. Anyway, this is what the label looks like. This is pretty much the only scrubs that I will pick up, other than like very, very specific prints, like maybe like weird quirky Disney characters or something like that for super cheap. Sometimes I'll grab Grey's Anatomy depending on the fit and the size, but mostly Koi with the really nice prints. I won't do solids, but the prints I almost always grab. So anyway, it sold for, let me double check here, sold for $18. $18? Oh Lord, I've got lost. I think it sold for 17. Haha, I found my place. Okay, it sold for 17. I paid $1. Someone sent me a best offer of 17, which priced at $18.99. $17 is a fantastically fair offer, and of course I scooped it up. All right, Columbia, like a fuzzy fur, faux fur vest thing. It sold for $18 on a vest offer, and I only paid $1 at a yard sale also. These Converse I've had for a while. I thought they were amazing. I got at a rummage sale for about $1, and I've hung on to them with the core belief that somebody else will think they are just as cool. They are hand painted and hand bedazzled, like all of these bits of glitter and whatnot. Like you can see their actual like rhinestones of different sizes and stuff. There was some glue peeling and things like that, which I disclosed, but overall there's like piano keys and stuff. The shoes themselves were in very good shape, and they were just super cool and unlike anything I'd seen before, all hand done. So anyway, someone paid $34.99 plus shipping for them, and I hope that they love them and give them a good home, that's for sure. This was an interesting sale. 50 cents is what I spent at a rummage sale, and it sold for $50. Why it's interesting is it was listed at $32.99 and the person offered me $50. I was on my phone and I could not get the mobile app to send the buyer a question. Like, I don't know if you have realized like how glitchy the eBay app can be, but anyway, I couldn't do it. I was out and about. So I went ahead and accepted the offer, but I followed up immediately with a message because it will let you contact a buyer once they have purchased something. And I said, hey, I see that you have offered this amount of money, but my asking price was only this. Can I help you in any way with that? Do you have questions about the garment? Do you need me to adjust anything for you? I never heard from the person, and then they paid. And I've never got a response. So since they paid, I'm obliged to send the item to them. There's, I have 1 day shipping or whatever. So I went ahead and sent it. So stay tuned for the end of that saga. We'll see how that turns out. I'm not holding my breath. But anyway, $50. We'll see what happens. Okay. Another Halloween blow mold. Somebody at a yard sale, they saw me looking at these. They had, I think, 5 of them. And they said, oh, you can just have them all. We don't want them anymore. So they gave them for me for free. They're from 1995, Empire Industries. They're, like I said, blow molds. The bottoms of some of them were pretty messed up. This one's actually okay, but there was a lot of cracking in different ones. So I've disclosed in each, you know, the different flaws and whatnot. We've kept one for ourselves because we thought it was super cool. This is the second I've sold, and I have 2 more for sale. So hopefully I'll go from, you know, free, someone just giving them to me, to about $80 profit, which is, you know, minus fees, which is cool. All right, J. Crew. This was $4 at a thrift store on half price, I believe. I don't know how I feel about this sweater. It's not to my taste with this like scalloped lace detail, but a lot of people seem to like it. So anyway, it sat for a while with plenty of interest, some low offers, plenty of questions, plenty of likes on Poshmark, and eventually someone offered me $30, and because it sat for quite a while, I went ahead and took it. This was interesting to me. I have had this sat in my like death pile situation for a long time because I never thought much of it. I grabbed like the vintage fanny packs whenever I find them, and then this one was like 25% cents, I think, because it was in fill a bag. I just kind of like stuffed it in and whatever and forgot about it. So I decided to throw it up. I'm going to offer almost immediately, which was a little too low, and then got another offer almost immediately again for $16, and I was like, okay. So they paid $16 plus shipping, which is roundabout where the comps are. I probably could have got higher if I had taken off best offer and just waited, because there wasn't much of anything else comparable online. But honestly, for this fanny pack that I had forgotten about, I'm happy to get $16 in like 20 minutes. That is not too bad at all. And last but not least, I picked this up just a few weeks ago at a yard sale for $1. It did have a few discolorations on the back, but it was like a toddler size quilt. 101 Dalmatians, as you can see, from the 90s. Here is the tag, made in the USA. There wasn't anything comparable online in terms of the exact same print. So I went ahead and priced it high according to all of the other comps that were on there, just because this print seemed different. I priced it at $34.99 plus shipping with best offer, and someone just bought it outright within about a week and a half of having it listed and saying they've been looking for this print for a while. So, yay, not bad, $1 into $34.99. And that's everything I've got to show you today, guys. That's just a roundup of, you know, a cross-section of different sales and all the different platforms that have been going on for me. I'm hoping now that October is here, things may really start to rev up. Fingers crossed. I'm going on vacation in a few weeks' time, so I'm going to have to figure out how to not lose momentum more than anything, but, you know, I'll figure that out as we go. And yes, thank you guys so much for tuning in. By the way, if you've made it this far and you have issues with the sound that's with these ones where I screen share these videos, I want to apologize first of all. I have actually changed out now my microphone and everything with a brand new one. And if it's still sounding a little tinny and not very good, I apologize. I think it's going to end up being like the port in my laptop is what the issue is. So I'm going to have to try and like troubleshoot that a little further, but I do want to apologize if the sound quality is not good. I am trying to rectify it, so just hang in there with me, and I'll try and get that improved ASAP. All right, if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and like it, because it tells YouTube that the content is worthwhile, and please feel free to subscribe for more reseller content and some other kind of fun vlogs that I'm working on at the moment. And guys, I hope you have an amazing week, an amazing fourth quarter. Here we go. And I will talk to y'all soon. Bye, guys.